Not this girl you see before you now, who stands by each move that she's made. This old fogey's time has come. Woman's time has come. I fought my whole goddamn life for respect for my sex.
My favorite quote is, "Who is it that always ends up in the back? Us lucky ones born both female and black."
Not me! Not this girl!
I'm Danyel. I play Ida B. Wells. You know what? I did audition for SUFFS. I didn't audition for Ida B. Wells. When they did the workshop, there was a workshop it was like during COVID. It was 21. Yeah, it was 21. And I auditioned. I got a self-tape from my agent, and it was for Ruja and Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam used to be in the show. He had a great song. And from there, I was asked to come cover at their workshop for SUFFS they were doing in December, to stand by for Nikki M. James, who was playing Ida B. Wells at the time. And she had just had a baby, so whenever she breastfed or had to go and care for her little girl, I got up and played Ida, which was just an honor enough. Just the empowerment to help someone, seeing that was really, really affirming for me. And then when they had the tour, they called me and said, we would like you to play Ida B. Wells. And I said, okay, let me think about this. Let me think about this tour, seeing the States. And it all worked out. And I'm just so grateful to be telling her story across the country.
SUFFS, the new musical, has made Tony Award-winning history on Broadway.
We demand to be heard.
Winner, Best Score.
We demand to be seen.
Winner, Best Book.
We demand equality.
It's a theatrical masterpiece that's thrilling, inspiring, dazzlingly entertaining.
There are moments that aren't necessarily written in the show, but the show's culture cultivates a foundation for us to do this. But in moments when we're galvanizing as suffragists in history, we have these moments where we're looking at each other and we're like, now it's time, let's go, and it's solidarity as actors, like, all right, we're a little tired, let's go. But also, as inside of the story, it's kind of like our battle cry, or our agreement to decide we're gonna fight, and we are fighting in our own way. I call this, we're on stage, we're in costumes and things and lights and all the, spectacle, but I still do believe it's active work to bring hope, so the moments that we have where we can connect and decide to do that together without words are kind of the most special moments. Mariah was just here. What did she say? She said she feels like we're on a ministry, we're evangelists, spreading the good word, and it's true. The other day we were in rehearsal and we were singing Keep Marching Together, and just in rehearsal, no costumes, just in seats, going over the music, making sure the chords, we keep the integrity of the music. And when I say that touched me that day, that we're really telling, we know this, right? But in the doing it every day, you have to maintain the purpose of it. It's a daily thing to revisit why. And that was just a beautiful reminder that this is, I come out of the church, so ministry, it's ministry, to show a mirror, to be a beacon of hope in any way. We need it so bad. We need it so bad, and so much of it. So to be a puzzle piece in what that is like I said, sobering. It's a privilege. It's a huge weight that I invite. A lot of the work I do as an actor is inside of the civil rights spectrum, which is something that I invite. It feels appropriate. If I'm gonna tour with anything right now, if I'm gonna leave my family at home, it's gonna be to shout Ida B. Wells' name out and say, if she can do it, we can do it too. SUFFS is for anyone who believes in being on the right side of history. So where I go to first before, if this person lived, before going through any subtext, I want to know what information I can get from their life before, I can make up something. And what's not given inside of the story that they tell, I try to make educated assumptions on. For Ida B. Wells, what I took a lot. She has an autobiography, Crusades for Justice. So I always want to hear what the character says about themselves. I don't care what y'all saying. What are they saying about themselves? And then I'll go into what people had to say. And specifically, her great-granddaughter, Michelle Duster, wrote Ida B. the Queen, and read that. And actually, a friend of mine I listened to it, and a friend of mine got me the book and didn't know I hadn't had the physical copy. So I've been listening and reading at the same time before going on stage for the past few days. I think I may keep that tradition. But after getting that information, then I create what may be her motivation scene to scene. Like, there is an overarching motivation. I want freedom for my people, right? But day to day, she may need to do her baby's hair. Sometimes that's what I'm thinking. Her kids may be, getting on her nerves, when she needs to hold on for a second, babies. I got to go take this phone call and talk to Mary Church Terrell. And then, what you want changes, throughout the scene based on what you're given. What I found a lot in her book, her autobiography, was how spiritual she was, and how much she used prayer to anchor her, and how much she actually preached it to many people. So I try to bring the entire scope of humanity as much as I can, even in the silent moment when I'm not even saying anything, no matter what character is. Just every moment you're on stage is a moment to be able to show who that person is just a little bit more, and I try to do that here. Reading about her and embodying, based on what I've learned about her and what's not included, what I had to assume with education, about her, has just really, really strengthened, my idea of what defiance is. There's one moment in her story, and it was a small moment, but it was big for me, where she's with the Negro Fellowship League, that she started from the students in her Bible study class. She went off and said, I want to relax, and I want to teach, the Bible at my church. And she couldn't there. She saw a need, some violence happened in that neighborhood. And she said, what are y'all doing? We have to start something. And then came the Negro Fellowship League. But she was there, and they were just starting up to get their establishment together. And there were some people outside that were a little rowdy, and just caused him some trouble. And she asked one of the security, one of the men that were there protecting, to go outside. Can you handle that? And he went outside and came back in and said, they're just too much. I don't know what to do. And she goes, I'll go. And she went out, talked to them, and what she says is that she had care for them. She was nurturing and firm. And she goes, you can come inside if you like. But we need you to calm down. And they go, you know what, Miss Wells, because it's you, I can't go in. I don't look appropriate to come in. I respect you too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave. And after, reading that, I said, oh, so Ida, you're gonna make a woman out of me, huh? Like just the courage and the resolution in herself to say, I will handle this. And the love that comes from that, to say that you're included, but you got to get it together. Like she was special. Someone wrote a poem about her, the queen of our race, and it's unfortunate we talk about the first, like she was famous during that time and people don't know her name now. And it's extremely, extremely unfortunate. So I'm just so grateful that we can have these conversations and lift her name up, and we can lift her name up in the show. And it's a privilege to do so. She was the first probation officer, I believe, in Chicago. She was one of our first investigative journalists. being the first is a celebration, but it's also a very sobering understanding that there had to be one because there was no space or access for it previously. A backhanded compliment, or unfortunately fortunate, because as Black people we do revere and are grateful and hold up our pioneers, but at the same time there's a reason they had to be pioneers. They had to fight against some really, really horrible odds, and the fact that we are kind of reverting, and honestly it's been this way for a very, very, very long time. And people of color, have been saying this, and people on the right side of history have been saying this, and we're only here because we haven't been listened to.
I won't live to see the future that I fight for. Maybe no one gets to reach that perfect day. If the work is never...
She was absolutely remarkable and defiant. This kind of courage and resilience existed. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a cartoon. Like, this person walked the earth. And we tend to believe that it takes, it's not taking away from these people. They were extremely special. And I like to say anointed. But sometimes we like to separate ourselves from them and say, oh, I can't do something like that. I want them to see that she was human. And in her humanity, you can see yourself and say, oh, they were scared too. They had to go within. They had to pray. They had to lean on people. Oh, I do that too. Maybe I can, fight a good fight as well. Maybe not in the same way, maybe not through the same medium, but in my own way. And if I find that, I have an example of someone who succeeded and just did not give up till her dying day. There's a pin that is not said in the show, but is a part of Ida B. Wells's costume, which was a pin that she made through the Negro Fellowship League to commemorate murdered soldiers. And the FBI confronted her on that pin and said, you can't wear it anymore. We're going to make a file on you. And she said, I don't care. I'm going to wear this for the rest of my life. She fought to that, and I'm so glad that we have that, that piece. Even though we don't speak about it, it still says so much for me as an actor to hold that on, and can be a clue to people who know. And if they see this interview now, they'll know when they see that button. But I want them to see that she was human, and for her entire life, literally, her entire life, she did not give up. She had it all. We say you can only do this or that. And, she had her family. She fought for her people. She had her community. She was loved. She had it all. And there was not a moment in her life where she was not in danger also. But she really fought for the balance. She really fought for the balance of her life, and she taught other people that they can have it too. She rejected the fact that you can't have a family and fight. People often were confused when she was in either of those shoes, but she filled them out wholly and completely in every avenue. So just there were moments where she wasn't even acknowledged. She wasn't acknowledged for so much, and she was, as you probably know, was removed from NWHM. She really had it, and she was dedicated to it. So yeah, I took that as an example.
Take a virtual field trip about women's suffrage with the National Women's History Museum.